I feel like most guys I have dated are insecure with how much I earn in comparison to them, whether it's double or 10 times more. Or am I just attracting low self-esteem guys? Story 1. I mean, it's all fun and games until you ask him to be a house husband. Personally, I can't deal with that kind of temptation. I get really, really fat and just play Fallout for all day. Story 2. My wife earns significantly more than me and always will. She is extremely intelligent and has a professional degree that is hard to get. I married up, and I am damn proud of it. Story 3. I am 30 years old here. I was married to one. She did earn about 4 times what I made. I make a very respectable amount myself. She is a doctor and I'm a software developer. She got a superiority complex rather quickly. Suddenly, it was okay for her to announce a $20,000 travel trip, but if I wanted to spend a few hundred on a home improvement project, I would find myself requiring a full-blown presentation on why, when, how, and what. During her residency, I made more, of course, and I pretty much paid for 80% of all expenses. My credit card bill was about $2,000 to $3,000 per month. Hers was about $400 to $500. I never said no to anything, never ever brought it up, was always happy to pay for everything. But as soon as she started earning a doctor-level salary, suddenly paranoia about how everyone is after her money. In less than a year, she managed to save more than I did in about 5 to 7 years. And once we divorced, she wanted even more money from me. I gave her another year's worth of my savings. She thought it was fair. I'm not the guy to fight, and she knew it. So she took advantage of it. So yeah, some guys don't care, and it doesn't affect their self-esteem. It affects others. It has never bothered me, though. I never married or loved her for her money. I got enough of my own, but her overall personality was affected by it. You should have seen the budget she made for us. She left me with $100 into savings and herself with over $7,000 after all expenses. I left her, not just because of this. This is just one of a dozen plus issues we've had and her overall abuse of me. She was a taker, not a giver. So yeah, original poster, just don't let your money give you the impression you have superiority. This goes for men too, of course. Because regardless of how much you make, no self-respecting person will stick around long enough. Money isn't worth it. The right guy will always support and encourage you to go further. Real couples treat each other's successes as their joint success. Selfish partners always talk about how it's them who did this, and they are the ones to profit from it. That's how my ex-wife was. She was a textbook narcissist. Edit. A few typos and reworded a few things for clarification. Edit 2. I also gave her the dog. I did it out of my kindness to her and not to fight over it. I wanted her to be gone out of my life as soon as possible. I knew she needed it more than I do. I never hated her and I wish her well. She just wasn't my person and treated me very poorly all these years. Story 4. Probably an unpopular opinion, but here goes. I dated a girl who at the start earned more than me. I was working part-time and she was a manager. She earned significantly more than me. She loved going out to restaurants and bars. During this time, I paid probably 60% of the time. Later on, she decided she wanted to work part-time. I then got a better job somewhere else and started earning more than she did when she was a manager. Now she demanded that I pay 100% of the time for things she wanted to do. Needless to say, it ended. A lot of guys deal with this and it doesn't get talked about. When I earn more, I'm paying, but when she earned more, I'm paying. Yeah, makes sense. I don't know you, so I can't make assumptions. But if you asked me how I feel about dating another girl who earns significantly more than I do, then I would have my reservations. Not because of my ego, but because of the last experience I had. Feel free to downvote away. Story 5. I feel like most guys I've dated are insecure with how much I earn in comparison to them, whether it's double or 10 times more. That's projection. Yes, some guys do care, but in my experience, women care a lot more. Plenty of women also generally use that as an excuse for their own superficiality, claiming it's the guys being intimidated or insecure, when it's they who think it's pathetic to have their husband earn less than them. Now, if it's going longer term or you plan on getting married, I think a lot more men are going to have issues with being a stay-at-home dad than dating a girl who makes more than them, but probably not as many as you think. I wouldn't mind being a stay-at-home dad, but plenty of guys will, so I suggest you have that talk early in the relationship if you see something long-term. I also wouldn't mind dating someone who makes more either, but if she wants to go to a place outside my budget, she can't expect me to take her out. Story 6. I couldn't care less. I think in a bizarre hypothetical world, it would be a problem if my partner makes more than me but still expects me to pay for the majority of things because I'm the man. That is unrealistic. Story 7. I'd feel completely fine dating a woman who earns more than I do. In my view, a relationship is about mutual respect, support, and love, not about who makes more money. If my partner is successful and passionate about her career, that's something to be celebrated, not something to feel insecure about. Money doesn't define the value of a person or the strength of a relationship. What matters more is how we support each other's goals and navigate life's challenges together. Open communication about finances and shared goals can help ensure that any concerns are addressed and that both partners feel valued and respected. Story 8. My ex made double what I was making. I didn't care. She would pay for the important stuff. I helped, obviously, but mostly I just bought her gifts and food every time I was out. Story 9. Great. I would like to sit down to see how much higher we could set our goals. My grandfather once told me, when we were discussing winning the lottery and why many end up in worse situations, that your vision must be larger than your bank account. If my significant other is making more, then it is time to elevate our vision. How much can we save in the next year? What kind of 10-year plan can we work on together? Story 10. It's nice as long as the woman is a giving type who still appreciates you. My ex had more money than me, and it was generally not a problem. However, she was very special in that regard. I don't think she was representative of most women on a lot of things, so I keep my guard up when it comes to finances. Story 11. My wife and I were just talking about this. She has made more than double what I have for most of our lives. It never bothered me. She is my partner, and I want what is best for her. If she is making more because she is excelling in her career, then great. I'm happy and proud of her. Plus, the more she brings in, the more we have as a family. Who can be mad at that? There are other ways to contribute in a relationship than salary. Story 12. I've dated and married a girl who was making 3 times more than me. I made it clear in the beginning I can't afford the level of life she was on, so I suggested we live on my level and she can save a lot. She followed. Story 13. Dated someone. In the beginning, I was much more affluent than her. I ran into some bad weather where she got a pay rise and some money from family. Plus, being a pretty girl in general, she had a lot of things going her way with much support. I saw her attitude start to change in everyday things. A very ugly sight, but not unexpected. She left soon enough. 2 months after the breakup. I'm making at the very least triple what she is making again. Story 14. Pretty much every woman I have ever dated made more money than me, but it was never an issue on my part. Things sometimes get complicated when they need a bit of a reality check, like, hey, I cannot afford doing this with you. But if she is okay with that, then so am I. I am a simple man. Money is good. More money is more good. Story 15. I'd feel completely fine dating a woman who earns more than I do. In my opinion, a relationship should be about partnership and mutual support rather than financial competition. If my partner is successful and passionate about her career, that's something to be celebrated. Money shouldn't be a measure of one's worth or a source of insecurity in a relationship. What matters more is how we support each other's goals, dreams, and well-being. Open communication about finances and shared goals can help ensure that any concerns are addressed and that both partners feel valued. Ultimately, the most important aspects of a relationship are respect, love, and understanding. If both partners are on the same page and there's mutual support, financial disparities shouldn't be a problem. Story 16. I'd feel completely fine dating a woman who earns more than I do. In fact, I think it is great if my partner is successful and passionate about her career. A relationship should be about mutual support, respect, and love, not about who makes more money. Money does not define a person's worth or the strength of a relationship. What matters more is how we support each other's goals and navigate life's challenges together. Open communication about finances and shared goals can help ensure that any concerns are addressed and that both partners feel valued and respected. Ultimately, the most important aspects of a relationship are respect, love, and understanding. If both partners are on the same page and there is mutual support, financial disparities should not be an issue. Story 17. Do you expect them to go on dates with you and then have to pay their own way? If so, then yes, it's a problem as they can't afford it, but you can, and you expect them to keep up with your spending. Story 18. My now fiancé earns more than me. I have never had an issue. Although I would prefer if I could make enough so she could just stay home, that is not the case just yet. Story 19. Depends on how much more. 1 to 30,000 more than me? Hell yeah, girl, get that bread. 40 to 100,000 more than me? Can I be a stay-at-home husband? I'll make sure she doesn't have to lift a finger when she gets home. I would go to culinary school and be the best damn chef too. More than 100,000 more? I'm going to trophy husband school. Do they have trophy husband school? I don't know, but I'm going. Story 20. Definitely depends if the guy is a hardworking teacher making $60,000 and the girl makes way more, then that shouldn't be an issue. If the guy is unemployed and plays video games all day and doesn't even job hunt, it will become an issue. I was the second guy in a 3-year relationship and it didn't work out. It was the best thing that happened to me in a lot of ways because I went back to finish school, got a career, etc. Even though I played video games all day while she made a ton of money, I was terribly unhappy. Guys need to have drive and purpose, or I do at least. Story 21. The majority of men know that most women will lose respect for a man who is not earning as much as she is or more. Unless you're one of those men she genuinely finds attractive, which most men aren't if we're being honest. Then you add in the masculine traits needed to become successful. Competitive, aggressive, impatient, work-obsessed, stubborn, dominant, and so on. Those are beneficial for making money, but not really attractive in a woman. Overall, you're in a spot where she might look down on you. We also have to bring up this point. If I'm dating a woman who is making $200,000, she'll still want to be treated like a lady. Having a woman who makes a lot of money doesn't really benefit you. You don't necessarily have access to the money. Most men can barely get their girlfriend to buy them a Happy Meal. Story 22. It's not that they are insecure, it is that they are actually less secure. Women who make more are more likely to leave and more likely to cheat by a lot. Story 23. I would love it, and all your female friends would despise me and go out of their way to sabotage our relationship because they think you're settling. In my humble experience, women care about this far more than men do. Story 24. In my experience, those women tend to weaponize the fact that they make more. They definitely don't have the same level of respect for me that they'd have if I earned more, and they very obviously show it. For some reason, it always comes up. The worst part is they never realize how obnoxious they are and just claim I'm intimidated or insecure. So to answer your question, I don't care if a woman earns more than me, but the women certainly do care, and the disdain is very apparent. Story 25. I don't care. Someone has to earn more, and if she has worked hard to get a great job, all the power to her. It would only bother me if she was herself bothered by the man not being the main income. Yes, to the last part. Some men feel very emasculated by things like that, and I think they are dumb for it. You both contribute towards the whole. It doesn't matter how that share is divided as long as the total effort across everything is as close to 50-50 as possible. Story 26. I don't care what a woman earns. I care about them as a person. This is the stark difference between men and women. Men will marry the cashier. Women basically want a chief executive officer. Story 27. Depends on if you lord it over them or not. If you are always subtly or overtly implying that he should be, or should try to eventually be on your level financially, then that will definitely cause problems. And you may not even do it intentionally. People just get so used to a certain standard of living, and it can be easy to forget the average person only makes around $40,000 a year and what living like that looks like. Story 28. Cool. More money. Let's go have fun doing upper-class stuff with our dual income. apart from the class and cultural divide that comes with being in two income brackets, which can lead to compatibility issues or a lack of time to spend together. I'm usually in the inverse situation, not necessarily 10 times, but easily 3 times the salaries of most people I know, colleagues excluded. Guys tend to not necessarily value a partner's income when looking for a partner, but I can see how some might feel a bit disheartened to not be the breadwinner. We're still in a time where every generation prior and the parents of the current generations all had the man as the primary or sole breadwinner, and it can be a culture shock against everything you have been raised to believe growing up. I'd say you probably are attracting more insecure guys, but it may not be the entire story. Being in a higher income bracket does mean you have different attitudes and behaviors that may be off-putting to those in other brackets in both directions. It's possible it's not because of the income, but because of your attitude toward how income is used. I've learned pretty quickly in my own experiences that luxury spending or buying non-necessities can often be seen as taboo to people who make less, even if they understand it can fit in the budget without problems, and such attitudes can be points of friction.